So the session in general was about the different issues that every trainee, whether you're a hematologist or even oncologist, has. And luckily, there was this big roundtable where all the big societies like ESMO, EHA, EBMT, ISTH, ASH, and I'm sure I forgot one other society that was represented there by their chairs or co-chairs or respective representatives of their young committees. So every society has luckily a representation committee for the needs that the younger generation has. And what was really, really nice is that from EHA's side, that the former and president-elect were there as chairs, that our voices could also be heard for them to make it a really, really lively discussion about the differences that maybe generations have at the moment, especially in these challenging times. And yes, we could discuss the issues that we as committee leaders have probably. And that was, for me personally, very, very relevant because sometimes you feel you work a lot, you think always about your committee and your issues. And it was really nice to share this experience that maybe other chairs also have, the challenges that we have when speaking to seniors in the respective societies, but also how to organize a committee, how to organize the different participation of each trainee or younger generation fellow to really get things going, to make it all about projects. That was also very, very nice to hear that all committees basically across the board really want to do something and really want to change something for better place in science, but also in practice. That was really, really, really nice. And on the other hand, what from our perspective, so I was there invited by EHA, and I'm very grateful for that. But I need to highlight that we have a co-chair system from the beginning. So we are two chairs, is myself, but also Claire Horgan from Manchester, who is my co-chair. Without her, I'm honest, I couldn't do what I can do. And I would also highlight that particular this co-chair system really, really helps in time management for yourself, because otherwise you always work on your own. So it was really nice to share some problems, some thoughts all the time and discuss whether this step or this project is the really way to go or how we should approach things. So I'm really grateful that I have someone who I can talk to all the time. And from the EBMT perspective, so there wasn't really a presentation, which I also was really fond of. We just talked briefly what we are and how many we are, how our committee is organized. But then it was basically a lively discussion about across the certain board, like how do you communicate? What kind of channels do you use? How do you try to involve everyone, that it's not too broad? Because particularly, I mean, probably you will understand, we share this now on social media and everyone wants to be part of something, but it's important for, especially when you create committees, that everyone does something and realizes projects. So that's what we are all about. And that was really, really nice to share how each committee of each society does this. So what I hope, always hope, is when the younger generation speaks to each other, that we don't make the mistake of paving ways that already exist. So for me particularly, it's really important then that we dare to think a little bit differently and dare to say what we really think is happening or what we really think we are struggling with. Because I notice a lot that, especially in science, that trainees of young fellows, they always tend to follow their mentor, which is a good thing. If you have a mentor, then you should follow that person and follow their experience and learn from them. But if this happens all the time, then I really think that nothing really changes. It changes from their perspective, maybe from their life course. But if we really want to tackle these big issues that we all face now and which will become more difficult in the future, I strongly believe that with the economic situation, but also with the pressure of working hard, getting your foot into the door of science, publications, etc., we really need to dare to say something we really think is true. And that was especially my say in that roundtable, that, for instance, when we talk about communication strategies, how we should communicate to the community, that, for instance, some strategies that societies use, like newsletters or certain bulletins or whatever it is, from the traditional perspective. Okay, newsletters may not be that traditional, but from our perspective and from my perspective, it's quite traditional. And no one reads newsletters anymore, I think. What we need to think of, okay, how we can really communicate. And I think that's through social media, but social media is only the first step. Then the next step is really talking to each other, meeting each other, and talking really things through and discuss things. And that's why the roundtable was so, I think, from my perspective, very successful and very fruitful.